how can an agency owner help their churn rate? With people that
So
don't know what a churn rate, it's the rate at which customers stop doing business with an entity. So someone signs on with you as an as a client. How do you keep them for 6 months, 12 months, rather than working with them for 1 month, 2 months, and then quitting? Which is something that happens a lot with agency owners.
so for us, we have a really low churn rate. Like our clients stay on for a long time. And for one is we already talked about this, but expectations is setting those expectations between you and the client, how you like to be communicated, how you expect them to communicate back with you, what they can expect from your service, and two is being first and foremost like really good at your service, right? Like
Mhm.
if you're good at your service, like people are gonna stay.
Makes sense.
But I think for us is we really like to vet our clients before we start working with them. So most of our clients become like our friends, right? It's
Mm.
it's it's they're our friends, and you're less likely to say no to a friend than you are to like a stranger, right? So
Yeah.
you're more likely to continue to work with someone if you like that individual, if you like that person. And a lot of our clients have stayed on for 2, 3 plus years because like we've had so much good communication. Like
Correct.
um this one client of mine, which is actually the very first client I started working with. She actually gave me a shout out at her wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow, to
so
that point.
yeah,
The
she
most
gave a shout
important day
out.
of her life. That's awesome.
She shouted me out. So
Wow.
if you build these really good relationships with your clients, because it's not like D2C where you buy something online and that's where the relationship ends between you and the business owner or the business. You have to have like a relationship. I always kind of like tell my clients like this is a relationship. Like you have to put in work. I have to put in work. We have to like meet in the middle, and it's a partnership. It's a relationship. Like we both have to like come to an agreement and to an understanding for this to really work. And I think because of
Wow.
setting the right expectations, like a lot of our clients have just like stayed on for such a long time.
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I mean, how building that relationship outside of work, even though you don't necessarily see them, but like, not just seeing them as a transaction. That's one thing that one of my clients,
Hmm.
who she's became a really good friend of mine. We've never met personally. It's obviously all been online, but she's been really great, and she gives me advice on. She's a bit older than me, but she gives me advice on marriage, on family, like on all these different things. And one thing she said to me, she was like, you know why I will never work with anybody else, MJ? I was like, why? She said, you are the only person that doesn't see me as a transaction. She said, I get agency owners that pitch me all the time. I get vendors, all these different people just see me as a transaction. Obviously, you're here to make money as well, but like you see me as an individual. You don't just see me as a transaction. And that's 100% to your point. It's like having that, building that relationship, understanding that, look, this is another human being and I want to get them the best results so I could get the best results. But, there's been months where we didn't get the best results. And if we didn't have this relationship, they would have left
She
us,
would, and they would have left you.
but
Hmm.
because they have that, because they know that you have their best interest, they're always going to be there. So um that's a good answer. So I think that's definitely one way to help your churn rate. Now how would because I this is a really important question, because I feel like I know it's definitely something that I struggled with when I was starting out. But is there an what would be another way to help your churn rate? So outside of, I mean, I have some clients, they're just strictly business, they're like pretty professional, strictly business. They don't want to talk outside of work. How would you, help that churn rate? I think you hinted to it, which is really the main thing, which is be good at what you do. Because if you get them great results and you're good at what you do, then they have no reason to leave you. But let me word it a different way. What are some things that people do to actually have clients leave them? Perhaps that's a better way to word it.
Not be transparent.
Nice. Okay.
I feel like if you're not transparent or you try to make excuses for
Mm,
yourself, and you don't take accountability,
mm,
it comes and bites you in the ass.
wow.
Sometimes you lie or you kind of like try to make it not seem as serious or whatever it may be. it will come back to you, and whether they find out the truth or whether something like happens, um, that's like a really solid way of just like you losing that client completely forever.
Wow.
Like there's clients that leave and they come back. But if you leave off on a bad note and you're not transparent, like, hey, you know what? Like I will be honest with you, we didn't have the best month. Like, and I take full accountability of this, whether you want to offer a sort of discount on your services. Like I understand like we didn't perform the best and this is our fault. Um, a lot of people don't recommend this, but
Mhm.
you know, sometimes as a business owner, I just kind of like take accountability for sometimes you know it was because of us, and you know I take the hit as a business owner. Like I'll offer you a 25% discount on our service, I'll refund you this much. You know, and a lot of the times they really appreciate that, and it has caused us to retain our clients for an additional 6 months. So while you might lose a small upfront like payment, um like it lasts you a lot longer in the long run, right? Like this client stays on for an additional 5 months, and it's just better. And I think just taking accountability, like, you know, instead of like pointing fingers and being like, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that. I feel like that's a really good way of like kind of like shooting yourself in the foot, you
Wow,
know?
bro. Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better. And I mean, I have so many examples of situations like that that happened with me, but once I took, ownership of this is my problem, and this is not to say that you take the blame for things that your client's
Mm-mm.
problem.
Mm-mm.
It's just like you said, being transparent. You know, uh, I think that's you couldn't have said it any better. Because that's definitely one thing that will let you clients leave you faster, very fast, which is not being transparent, not being straight up.